again, it is time for us to contemplate and discuss again. So our topic for this Dhamma talk is to how to maintain or safeguard the peace of mind. Previously we learned about what are the things that will disturb the peace of the mind. So we learned that what can disturb our peace of the mind can be various sensory encounters that we can have. And then we also learned about internal habitual patterns, what we call 5 hindrances. And then we also learned a little bit how we can overcome them. And then now we will discuss, once we built some peace, for example, right now, since we have been meditating since yesterday, so we have built some form of calmness, some form of peace, some level of peace in our mind. How we can safeguard this? How we can keep it? How we can maintain it? So that's the topic for this talk. Once we develop some peace in the mind through following different techniques, mainly dropping. That's what we learn, like recognizing and detecting the disturbing thoughts and then dropping them. That was the main technique that we talked about. And once we experience in some peace, how we can maintain it. So there are 3 steps. First, I would like to talk about how we can maintain the peace within the context of meditation. During the meditation, we may be able to experience some peace, and how we can maintain or safeguard that peace within the context of meditation. Then I would also like to talk about how we can maintain some level of peace when we are living our life in day-to-day life. What things we can do to maintain some level of peace. Not the kind of deep peace we are experiencing right now, but some level of peace of mind, how we can maintain such a peace in our daily life. So first let's talk about how we can maintain the peace that we are experiencing now, in this kind of meditation context. First technique we can use is related to what we discussed before also, is what we call virya. Virya, usually, we translate it as effort or energy, and Bhante Punaji translated it as strength, our ability to withstand the influence of our own habitual mental patterns, and also our ability to withstand the external stimulants coming to us. So inner strength, so to speak. So the exercising of that strength will be the effort. What is really meant here is actually not the kind of physical effort, but actually our ability to choose thoughts, select thoughts, and then abandon if you realize that they are not important, and to cultivate if you realize that they are important. So we have that capacity, although we don't exercise it much. We have the capacity to select and choose whether we want to think continuously on that topic, or whether you want to stop and drop and move to something else. We have the capacity, but sometimes we are too attracted to the juiciness of the theme that we don't feel like dropping it, and we want to continue it. So the first method, technique we can use in order to maintain the peace that we are experiencing right now because that peace can be disturbed by any kind of thought, any kind of theme, any kind of topic that comes to our mind, and then we can exercise virya, which is our inner strength and our effort to make a decision, not to make a decision to select, make a decision to not to continue along that line. So it is just like when you look at right in front of this stage, there are so many things that you can see, right? So can you make a decision that I'm going to look at that instead of this? I mean, you can make a decision to look at the screen and not look at me, right? Or you can also see the screen, so you can make a decision not to look at the screen, but to look at me. So you make that decision, right? You make that decision and you select what you think as most useful. We can do the same with regard to our thoughts, although we don't use it much. So virya is actually exercising that ability. So once we develop some kind of peace, and then there can be so many thoughts and things will come to you. And then you have to make a decision. You have the power to make a decision. Although we always allow any thought to come to our mind. We open our doors and we let them come inside and and it stay inside and rent free. So right now it's like a very open doors that we have in our mind. No protection, not making any decision, not making any effort, simply allowing any thought. Through our habitual patterns, any thought can occur. And then we simply allow it to come and we feed it. We bring other thoughts to it, we bring other memories to it, and we feed it, we grow it. But we can also do the opposite. When we recognize that theme, that topic, that this thought is not helping the peace, we can make a decision not to pay attention to that, not to attend to that, not to feed that. And then instead, we can always turn our attention to maybe meditation object. If there's nothing, just to body, just inside the body. Or if it's so powerful, we can think the opposite. We can purposely bring a wholesome theme, wholesome topic to think about. So the first effort will be using what you call virya, which is the mental strength that we all have to select our thoughts. So don't be generous to all your thoughts. And also one other important thing we need to understand is that actually to understand that not all thoughts that occur in our mind are important. We give undue value to our thoughts. Not all thoughts are important. You don't have to attend to them just because they occur in your mind. Just because you remember something doesn't mean that you have to think about it. So don't give that value to these thoughts just because they occur in our mind. Some thoughts are not important, not relevant at all. Has no value. And so we have to have that awareness, that awareness and that ability to select and choose. And we can have so many thoughts occurring in our mind, but we are not simply going to give our time to those thoughts just because they appear in our mind. Of course, we can do it during the meditation, but this is also going to be so helpful in our day-to-day life, because how many things that will come to our mind, and we simply, give our time. Some themes, some topics, some issues are not really directly relevant to us. It's not really important, but we simply give our time and we give our energy. We think about it, we discuss about it, we converse, we talk about it, and spend so much of our time. So it's really important to understand that thoughts are not that valuable. That will be the good, lesson to remember. Thoughts are not that valuable. Of course, there are certain thoughts which we really need to pay attention to. But just to have that idea, vast majority of thoughts that are occurring in our mind are not very important. Usually, on average person, there could be about 20,000 thoughts occurring in our mind in a day. Roughly, it can be more. And if there is, depending on our mental habits, but we don't need to attend to all of them. We can notice them, we can say hi, but not important, not now, not important. I have more important things to do. Just simply drop it and come to the whatever you are doing. So even in the meditation, in order to maintain this peace, we will remember so many things. We will have certain urges to do it. We feel like doing that or getting it, and then we notice it, and then we exercise this virya, this inner strength to select what to think, what to continue, and what to drop. So using that ability is the first technique. And remember that we have that ability. And more we use it, the more we make it stronger and stronger and stronger. We have the ability. And we attach too much to our thoughts. We give so much value to our thoughts. That's why we simply keep thinking everything that comes to our mind. So now we can use this ability to select. The other one is the second technique that we can use during the meditation, within the context of meditation. The one reason that we will lose the peace of our mind is because when we select an object to pay our attention to, it could be loving kindness, could be qualities of the Buddha, could be breath. So these are the three main objects that we have been using so far here. So once we select that, and as long as we can stay in this, around this object of meditation, our peace is preserved. We can experience, peace and calmness and not the agitation, but the settled stillness. We can experience that. But then that stillness is disturbed, when we have other thoughts and other, memories, as we discussed before. And one other technique to keep our attention on the selected object of meditation is to develop more interest in the object of meditation. If you are more interested in the object of meditation, if you are so interested in loving kindness, if you are so interested, if you have great interest in knowing and contemplating the virtues of the Buddha, if you have a great interest of the whole process of breathing, this wonderful process that makes our life possible, if you have great interest, you'll be able to stay there. If you have less interest, and very easily other thoughts and other things can drag, can attract your attention and you can go away, right? And sometimes it's really difficult for us to keep our mind on meditation object during meditation, when you are focusing on a wholesome object or a neutral thing. But in our daily life, sometimes we can keep thinking about something happen for many hours. without any problem. We have a difficulty in maintaining our attention on our meditation object. But in other times, let's say, you had some, argument in the morning with someone. And then, and you think about it, and you are driving, you can see so many things, nothing can disturb you, you still keep thinking about it. You can still revisit it. And you repeat that conversation again and again, again and again. How many times? So many times, right? Other people come to talk to you. You are not still disturbed. You again can think about this, that argument you had in the morning. And keep thinking about how many hours we can think about it. Because we have interest. We have interest, we have some kind of attachment to that incident. Unfortunately, it's an unwholesome one. And we can think about it, Sometimes we are angry with someone. Oh, that becomes a real object. We can think about that person for hours and hours and hours. Right? We give such a value to that person. We think that we are angry, but actually we give such a value to that person. We can think about that person. We can keep him as an object of our thinking and keep attending to him again and again, again and again, and spend so many hours on him or her. So because we have the interest and we think about it. So we have to do the same thing to our meditative object. So we have to find, if you find that your peace is disturbed, you are moving away, you have, wandering thoughts, just like, the previous question. And one thing you can do, maybe reflect again and try to develop an interest. Because we are going to focus on a wholesome theme. And develop the interest on loving kindness, how wonderful it's going to be, how beneficial that loving kindness is going to be, how healing it can be to my own body and mind, and how it can help and heal the others, and how it can help for us to liberate. So develop more interest in loving kindness, and then you can stay in that theme. The same thing with the breath. I think we have just, taken our breath for granted. If someone stops you from breathing for 1 minute, and you will beg, right? And someone has closed your nose and closed your mouth and stop you breathing, and after 1 minute you will struggle. And if that person asks, if you give me 100 ringgit, I will release this. And you will have no issue of giving 100 ringgit. And if you keep holding your breath long, and if you ask more, you will give more. Because you realize how valuable is your breath. At the end, you said, if you give your whole property, I will let you breathe. And at that moment, even we'll be willing to give everything that we have, just to breathe. Breath is that important. Everything else become valuable as long as we can breathe. And breath energizes every cell in the body and renews every cell in the body. So there's such a great value, great value to this breath. And of course, we can have additional value that because it is the breath that paved the way for all the enlightened beings, including the Buddha, to have this deep realization of our existence. So the breath provides the doorway. So it's such important thing. So develops that kind of interest in the object of meditation. Then we will be able to stay longer there. And that can help you to safeguard the peace. The other one is actually, it's more like an act of balancing. Because at different times, we have different levels of energy. And in order to maintain the balance, maintain the peace, and we need to maintain the balance of meditation. Because the whole practice of meditation involves a lot of balancing. Of course, our posture is also a form of balancing. But at the same time, it will be useful for you to understand that at different times you have different energies. For example, in the morning, maybe you are a little bit more energetic. A little bit more energetic. So when you have more energy, that's a good time for you to do more like a peaceful kind of meditation. So that's why, in the morning, we do, straight away we do loving kindness and breathing, because we have enough energy, so then we can do some peaceful practices. Maybe in other times, maybe we have less energy, we have a little bit lethargy, low energy, and then we need to do something to generate energy. That's why we do movements, walking meditation, and maybe thinking about the greatness of the Buddha. So we develop more we do some energetic practices. So in your individual practice, if you find that your energy is low, do some practices that generate energy. Even, for example, let's say your energy is low, you feel a little bit lazy or lethargic and sluggish. Don't close your eyes and continue to start, breathing. And you can do some other practices like keep your eyes open and still pay attention to your breath. You don't have to close your eyes. You can do it if it is helping you. Otherwise, you can keep your eyes open. And sometimes, in my case, if I find it lethargic, particularly even in my evening meditation, in order to balance my energy, I try to take fast breaths. I try to use my breath faster and faster and faster and generate a little bit more energy. And then I let it go, and then I go back to normal breathing. So it's kind of finding that balance where you are. If you find low energy, do some active form of meditation. And if it's full of energy, and then do some peaceful, calming types of meditation. So that way we can also maintain the peace of the mind. So those are the three things that I can share with you that you can use to maintain the peace of the mind. First is use the virya, right effort, or using the strength, is spiritual and the mental strength that we have to select the thoughts and only attend to thoughts that are important. You make that selection. And the second one is develop more interest in the topic of meditation. The third one is what? Balancing the energy. Let's talk about what we can do outside of meditation. Because we also need to maintain some kind of peace when you are living your normal life. And particularly today, after you finish this meditation, you'll be going out to the world with some kind of peace with you. You will talk softly, and you will move things, little slowly, and you are going with such a good energy, good peace within yourself. And of course, you don't be very super slow, But I would like you to maintain that clarity. Peace comes with certain level of clarity. I would like you to maintain that clarity, that peace, to some level, even when you are living your normal life. So what we can do to that, of course, again, the main ability that we can use, that is, mindfulness. Again, being watchful of your thoughts. You may not be able to be watchful of your thoughts in your normal life in the same level that you are doing in the meditation. Because in the meditation, we have a selected theme to focus on, and whatever thoughts come to us, we can keep watching them. They are coming, right? But in your normal life, you don't have a selected one object to focus on, because you have to focus on so many things based on your normal life. So you will not be able to catch every thought that is coming to you. But you can catch thoughts that are really, really, really disturbing you. really bringing you so much, pain and agitation and tension to you. So again, what we can use, still you can use the same technique that you are using in the meditation. You are watching your thoughts, you are detecting these thoughts, and then dropping them if they are not useful. So you can use the same technique, not with regard to all the thoughts that may occur in your daily life, but particularly the thoughts that are really generating some pain. And once you realize that, I feel frustrated, I feel, disappointed, I feel angry, I feel agitated. The moment that you realize that you're not happy, okay, now take a moment to observe that. Take a moment to observe what kind of thought, what kind of memory, what kind of incident is created this unhappiness in my mind. And it could be an actual incident, it could be something that you remember. And then you can make an effort. You can contemplate, is it really important? Maybe some incident happened, maybe someone honked you behind, when you are going to work, right? And that really disturbs you. And then you keep thinking about it, and after a while you feel upset and disappointed and frustrated, and initially you don't notice it, and then when you realize that you're not happy, and okay, take a moment, okay, what made me unhappy? We will always find someone or something that made me unhappy. But remember that the whatever incident is only one factor. And in our thinking about it, the way we think, the way we interpret it, the way we bring other memories to it, the way we create a story out of that, that is what really disturb our peace and make us unhappy. So what we can do in our normal life, whenever you feel unhappy, take that moment as an opportunity to explore and then understand what is the major event, what is the major memory that really started everything, and observe how you add your part to it. And then ask the question, is it really important to still keep thinking about it? Is it really valuable? Is it really relevant? Is it really useful? Sometimes maybe yes, is it really useful? And we can think about it. At least you can drop thinking about some incidents happen day before, maybe days before. You can just drop them and maybe purpose to think about what you have to do next. In our daily life, we can always focus on a new task. So instead of thinking about what happened, we can focus on a new task. So it's the same thing, watchful of the thoughts, the memories that keep bothering you, and do the same thing, observe them and notice them, and ask the question, are they really valuable, are they really useful? Maybe there could be a real issue that you need to attend, you need to resolve. I'm not saying that every thought, every memory is useless. There could be some important issue that you need to go back and talk to them and resolve. But simply keep thinking about it and worrying is not helping. So you can drop it. You can make a decision. Okay, I'm going to meet that person next week. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to explain how I felt. I'm going to, discuss and resolve that. And you can make that decision. You can inform that person, let's meet next week. And you can drop what you are, keep thinking about it. So that's one thing. But the second technique that I can always recommend you is in this meditation we learn how to feel our body, right? We try to feel our body. We learn how to feel our body even when you are sitting, how we feel the sensation of the seat, the cushion, how we feel the feet, how we feel our clothes. And that ability, that awareness of the body, with these subtle sensations, those sensations can be so useful, so helpful in our day-to-day life to maintain the peace in our life. Because if you have, that can help you to stop thinking about unnecessary things. And anytime when you have nothing to do, Maybe you are driving and you have to stop in a red light. You stop, right? And then what you do? And you have so many things you can do. So many things you can do. So many things you can think. And there are so many things you can do. But if you can at that moment, if you don't have a really important thing to talk, the real issue that you need to handle, if you don't have such important thing in that few seconds right there, just bring your awareness to your feeling in the body, how you feel in your driving seat, how comfortable it is, right? Feel all the texture, all the sensation, touch sensation around your body, and feel that sensation. I'm sitting, I'm holding the steering wheel. How you feel in your palms and fingers. Just come to that experience. I'm here. I'm not at home. I'm not over there. I'm not with my friends. I'm here, sitting, waiting. And then come to that body, come to that awareness. And as long as you are in the body, you are in the present moment, you are not in your unnecessary thoughts, and that can help you to keep your mind free from all toxic, thinking, all the memories and everything. It just purifies your mind just when you are just, there. So use your awareness to the body. Keep coming back to your body. And maybe you are walking to the shopping mall. And you are not there, but you can be thinking about so many things while you are walking, right? Maybe you just come to your body and feel your steps. I mean, don't walk as slow as you walk here. You can walk the normal pace, but just enjoy that, enjoy that walking, how you place your foot. Enjoy that, enjoy the breeze. And just be in that, experience, and until you reach there. Once you reach there, there may be so many stimulants and can be chaotic. But until then, you can have some peace while doing that. So keep coming back to your body can help you to keep your mind so peaceful most of the time. So remember that. So the awareness of the body is such a great skill that we all can have anytime. Anytime we can come to that body awareness, that can make everything simple, everything calm and peaceful to us. In order to do these two, I explained two techniques that you can do in your daily life. One is, again, like being watchful of the thoughts, not everything, but at least major ones, and then being in the body. In order to do this two, you need regular practice. Otherwise, these things will not come to you. These techniques will not be handy for you unless you have a daily practice. That means that every day, in our 24 hours, we have 24 hours. And we have to dedicate at least, I don't know your schedule, maybe half an hour, if not quite an hour. We have 24, So at least quite an hour, maybe 15 minutes for your own well-being. Maybe at least 30 minutes every day that you have time to purposely practice the kinds of meditation that we have learned today, including some chanting. If you have a nice place at home, with the statue of the Buddha, with some, display of the teachings of the Buddha, a nice place, you go to that place every day as a practice of reminder, reorienting yourself. I'm going to live a mindful, compassionate, meaningful life. And this is the guidance for me. So every day you start with that kind of practice. If you can do it in the morning, that's best. Otherwise, at least in the evening. So have that nice place and then go there and then do some recitation and chanting. And you can do loving kindness meditation, not the kind of long one that we are doing here, but simple wishes. Simple wishes that may I be well. Whatever concern that you are having on those days, you can just make a wish that may I be well, may I be strong, may I be healthy, may I be peaceful. And you can, if you are doing a lot of mistakes during those days, you can say, may I be mindful, may I be compassionate. Add extra wishes, based on the things that are happening to your life. So make at least 4 or 5 wishes to yourself. Just 4 or 5 wishes. Be well, be happy, be strong, be healthy, be mindful, be peaceful. Just repeating. You may not be peaceful when you say it, but just say it. You don't feel be well, happy when you say it, but just say it. Keep repeating it. And then gradually that will come. And then you don't stop there, then you also expand your wish that may everyone in my family, how everyone in your family is also mindful. Wonderful, right? that will solve a lot of problems, if everyone in our family is mindful. So make that wish. May everyone in my family be well, be healthy, be strong, be mindful, be compassionate, be peaceful. So make that wish. And you can also think about all the colleagues, the people that you have to work with all day. How good, right? If you are compassionate and if they are mindful too, right? So make that wish. May everyone, may all my colleagues be well, be happy, be healthy, be strong, be mindful, be peaceful. And then you can expand that wish to all people throughout the world. How wonderful the world is going to be if everyone is like that. Just make that wish. It may not happen at once, but you give your permission for that. You make that wish. You do your part. You make that wish that may all people be well, be happy, and continue the same wishes that you made to yourself. And then you can also make that wish for all living beings, all sentient beings, visible and invisible, near and far. May everyone be so. So when you make that wish, let's say every morning you make that wish, you are actually changing your thinking pattern. You are changing your neural structure. You are changing how you look at the world, how you interact with others. And of course, if you have time, then you can also spend a few minutes in breathing, paying attention to the breath and just observing the breath and understand the value of the breath. I'm so glad that I'm still breathing. And then, observe that breath and use that breath as a way to anchor our attention and experience deep, calm, peaceful states. So we have to have such a regular practice. If we can have that 15 minutes, or if you are lucky, maybe 30 minutes. If you have children, maybe before they wake up, small ones, and then if you do it, and that's such a practice will definitely help you to practice other things. It will automatically come to you. You'll be able to watch your own thoughts when they start to bother you. You'll be able to come to your body most of the time. And then you will have peace in your life. Okay. So I hope that you'll be able to maintain the peace within the meditation and also maintain the peace in your daily life. And so particularly during the meditation, when you are really paying attention to our main object of the meditation and keep dropping everything that are disturbing us, simply notice them, detect them, and keep dropping, and automatically we'll come to experience deeper levels of peace and calmness. There's a higher realm of joy that we all can experience in meditation. Once you experience that deep joy in meditation, you don't need any other substance to make you feel high, or make you feel happy. You understand that very peace, very unification that we are doing to all the mental energies inside of us can give us such a great peace and happiness. I will end this with a story. I think you have all heard about the Vietnamese Zen master, the Buddhist monk, Thich Nhat Hanh. Unfortunately, he passed away 2 years ago. And he has a nice story. He visited one of his devotees' house somewhere in a rural area. And so every morning, this monk will do his daily chanting and meditation. But his friends, they are sleeping because early in the morning they are sleeping. But the monk will do his own chanting and meditation in the morning. But there was a little daughter who wake up early in the morning and listen to the chanting, and she will come and just sit next to the master. And she doesn't know how to chant. She will sit for a while and move around, and she will leave. So she used to do it, few days. So one day, so master is still living in this house, and this little girl was playing with the children of the neighbors. They were playing, and after a while she got thirsty. She came and ran into the home and asked for something to drink. This Buddhist master opened the refrigerator and he found apple cider, the homemade apple cider. So he poured that apple cider into a glass and gave it to her. So when she took the apple cider, it's the drink, but all the different pieces of the apple is moving here and there. She doesn't feel like drinking it. And she simply kept at the table and ran back to play. And she played until evening. Then she came back in the evening, and she happened to pass by that table where the glass of apple cider was sitting. And she shouted, "Master, master, the glass of apple cider is meditating." The glass of apple cider is meditating. She shouted and shouted. The master came because she saw that all these pieces that was moving up and down in the apple cider now has settled down to the bottom. And you can see the crystal clear, the apple juice on the top of that glass. So even though she did not meditate herself formally, but being around that master, she understood the idea of meditation. So all the things has been settled down, and she thinks that this is meditating now. The upper glass is meditating. So that's what's going to happen to us also. When you keep putting our effort, watching the thoughts, and keep bringing our attention back again and again to the breath or any other object of meditation, and observing all the other thoughts and dropping them, keep dropping them, keep dropping them. And then when you make that effort again and again, we will come to a point that one day we can really experience serenity, stillness, peace, almost like experience a different realm, that our mind is so free, our body is so light, and we have such a joy and upliftment in our mind. But even before that, we are getting so many other benefits in meditation. So I wish you all the best and blessings to keep your peace and maintain your peace. Thank you.